In Obama's March 8, 2014 weekly address, Obama discussed the raising of minimum wages and how companies, both large and small, are beginning to provide higher wages as they realize it is not only better for their employees, but it is better for the company as well, because it encourages the employees to become more involved in the company. He also discusses why raising minimum wage is important, but has not been voted on in Congress. Throughout all of this, he perfectly exemplifies the three pillars of rhetoric: ethos, pathos, and logos. Obama's speech has ethos primarily because of his prior accomplishments. As president, he has built up a certain credibility that many people respect. For example, by using the fact that the Iraq War ended during his term, he has proved to many that he has excellent judgment. Therefore, his words often carry weight, and numerous people trust his actions. The fact that he is president, a job title that we, as society, commonly note towards those of higher education and rationale, certainly helps the audience accept his points, but perhaps not as much as his pathos. The way Obama builds pathos in his speech is actually incredibly organized. For the first out of his three tricks, he makes sure that he never blames the audience for anything. Instead, he blames the faults in our government merely towards unspecified members of Congress. He does this as to not upset anyone. We can also note his second trick, his language use. You note in his essay, in his speech, numerous uses of the words we instead of you all or I. By saying we, he develops a more personal connection to the audience, as he portrays the path to increasing minimum wage as everyone working together against the powerful few. This portrayal of the situation greatly increases his pathos, as well as a connection to the listener, which can also spur ethos. You can also see this in his word choice when he says phrases like they'll instead of they will, in order to develop a much closer and casual connection to the audience. Perhaps the most important use of pathos in Obama's speech was his subject matter. In his speech, he argues for higher wages, something that a vast majority of Americans believe in. Less prominent, but still definitely there, was Obama's logos. While there was no hard statistics in the speech, he did use logic, and then some generalizations to prove his point. For example, he used logic in the statement, if you treat your employees right, they'll treat you right, in order to make a point for companies to start raising their minimum wages. He also stated that around half the Republicans wanted higher minimum wage, while leaving it to the audience to assume that almost everyone who is not a Republican would believe in higher wages. In his speech, this signified that the American people wanted higher wages, while Congress didn't. Like any speech, if Obama kept out one part of the three pillars of rhetoric, his speech would have been unbearable for the audience. Fortunately, he executed the address in such a way that while it did not equally exemplify ethos, pathos, and logos, all of the pillars were present in form of an excellent